Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Happy
sir. Yes,
podcast
sir.
day, bro.
Happy podcast day, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Welcome to Black Star Reflections, episode number 4. And my name is Cyril.
And as always, Reggie in the building.
Big Reggie in the building. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
How you feeling today, bro?
Yeah, bro. Today.
All good?
Good day. Good day, you know.
One of those days.
Saturday, you know. Can't complain, you know, chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie, so what's been happening? What's going on?
Well, aside from the usual,
work,
family,
play.
All work and no play
Makes Jack a dull boy. Let's go.
Man. So yeah, as always, there is actually an episode that we are looking at in terms of the play side of us.
Yes, sir.
Where we're talking about series that we watch.
Yeah.
The kind of TV series we enjoy.
Shows. The sorts of things that our wives watch as well, because there's all these interesting reality shows and then these Korean TV shows. Yeah. So
even if you don't love it, you gotta love it.
You have to watch it. So shouts to the wives.
Yeah. Shout outs to all of them. There is a few things that happened this week.
Interesting things.
Yeah.
This week and then the previous weeks, but very interesting
just
stuff.
After the last episode 3, we've had a lot of things happening that we wanted to touch on, literally. So there was recently a yacht sinking somewhere in Italy, man. I'm sure you read about it. Mike Lynch, the Lynch family yacht.
It was all over the news, man. Like, it was all over the news. I saw it at first. I was like, yeah, what's happening? It reminded me of that, the little submarine thing that went deep in the ocean.
What was it called? Blue something?
Something like that. They went to check out the Titanic wreckage or something.
Why do you go to dead people?
Bro, when you're that rich, you don't know what to use your money. May their souls rest in peace. I'm just saying, if you have
that kind of money,
you probably
think, what else can I do that's not normal?
Private jet flights are not exciting anymore because you probably board private jets to go for meetings and stuff
all the time.
So it's like, what
going into space is boring now.
Is
people
boring
pay 500 grand and go on it.
Exactly. So what can I do next? But anyway,
go to the Titanic then.
Yeah, go check it out.
That was a horrible way to go, though.
That's
bless their souls.
Bless their souls.
Yeah, that was a horrible way to go.
Yeah, in all seriousness. Yeah, man. All right, so
it's because you're recollecting what happened that time. Maybe you need to talk a bit more about it.
No, it's just
did you ever know that thing was happening? Like, did you ever know there were expeditions to the Titanic before this thing happened?
I knew that
in the past.
Yes, I'd seen documentaries where not like leisurely,
like Discovery Channel kind of documentaries. It was more like
but that's
acceptable. That's scientific.
Exactly,
that's research.
But
for leisure, did you know it was happening?
No, I didn't know it was a thing that people could actually, go board these submarines and go
look at the remnants of it. Yeah,
it's quite interesting. Like we said, when you're rich enough, anything is
you want to
possible,
do anything. Yeah. I was a bit surprised. I didn't
crazy.
know it was something was in existence, and I didn't know it cost that much as well.
Yeah, man, it's it's interesting stuff,
Yeah, but yeah. We move back to our topic.
Back to the topic.
The Lynch family yacht. You heard about it.
Mike Lynch and his family. Rest in peace to the lost souls. It feels,
and the crew members as well.
It feels to me like the last episode too, we had to say R.I.P. to some people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, these things are happening, back to back, or these things are the things that we're exposed to in the world, in the media. So we're going to talk about these things because we find them interesting. But unfortunately, Mike Lynch. Yeah. I think his wife was the only survivor from the last information that I saw.
You had,
I heard. His wife was the only survivor. Now, Mike Lynch, who's the guy? He is or was a billionaire, so very rich guy, you know, who was at the helm of a technology company, which I don't remember the name of the company, but the company was acquired by HP. So HP that makes laptops and
household name.
Yeah, you guys should know HP. So yes, so he was at the helm of this company. He's from the UK. You know, he had this company, you know, grew the company, made it big, and then sold the company. I don't remember what year he did, but it was sold to HP for, I think, $11 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, that's a huge amount of money. So he sold this company. HP acquires the company, and then I don't know what the timeline is, but then HP eventually takes him to court for fraud. Him and then, you know, his counterparts that
I think that made news for. I mean, that's when I heard of him. When HP actually decided to take him to court.
I'd never heard of the guy
until that. And I was thinking, who's this guy who can actually, if it's true, allegedly defraud HP?
Yeah.
Man, did HP not do their due diligence
before they acquired the company?
You know what I mean? So, well, I think it ended up not being. I don't know if they actually took some money back off the buyout price.
I don't know what happened in terms of the details of the court case, but what I do know is so eventually the court case dragged on for some time, as it always does, usually for something of that cases. Size. And they actually got off Mike Lynch, and then there's like a counterpart of his, like, I don't want to say right hand man, but there's another guy. So eventually they got cleared of wrongdoing and they won this case, you know, and so, you know, they're all like happy and everything, and they decide, you know, that we're gonna go on you know, the yacht. We're gonna bring our families,
chill.
So Mike Lynch goes on the yacht with his family, his wife, his daughter, I believe. I don't remember if there's anyone else from the family, and then the other guys also brought in their families, and including the lawyer that was involved in this case. That basically advocated for Mike Lynch and his folks on this case. So they were all on the yacht, and the unfortunate news, you know, was broadcasted that they had you know, that the yacht you know, had gone underwater. It sank. Crazy. So then all sorts of like conspiracy theories begin to, you know,
pop up
and in the media,
because I think that always happens when there's like a yacht sinking. It's huge. It's like a plane. It's like a plane crashing.
It's like a huge, you know, a big, massive, expensive boat. You know, luxurious boats, which is basically
that's quite expensive as well,
bro. Like some of these things are like millions of pounds.
Yeah, it's huge. But that's another thing. It seems to. I know we've not really talked about, because there's not much information about how it sank, why it sank, what it is, who exactly it was on. Well, aside from the ones that we've already had confirmed. But the moment I see the news, I start to think. So, billionaire, yacht, billionaire, yacht. There's an affinity between billionaires and yachts, aren't there? Because it looks like you can't be a billionaire and not own one of them.
I think it's like it's almost like when you're well, 18 or 16 in some places. Like, man, I need to get my driver's license. I need to, I need to get my driver's license. Everyone's getting a license. Even if you can't afford a car. Obviously, most people that age cannot afford a car. But at least, you want to be able to say, yeah, I got my license, I can drive. Yeah. So it seems to be, like you said, it seems to be,
some connection there, isn't it?
Among...
Because Bezos has got one. I mean, I'm sure Elon's got one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And all these other billionaires has got yachts. And then they keep going about... I think there was a documentary I was watching about this at some point. And then they said, there's this... silent competition of sizes of the yachts.
I've heard about that.
And I'm thinking, so somebody wants to build theirs bigger than the other one.
Yeah. Just the idea that they're built is also another thing. Because you don't really go into shop and say, I want to get it. Yeah.
You want to custom make it.
I'm sure there are ones that you can buy.
Yeah, but those are the generic. Those are like people who are millionaires.
Yes.
Not billionaires.
Yes.
Billionaires want to build it.
Yes.
To their specifications.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's great. And to do that, that's expensive as well.
It's expensive, and it takes a lot of money to run these things as well, because depending on the size or the capacity of it, you need a crew.
You need
of people to be able to run and provide services on the yacht as well. So people doing the cooking.
Firstly, you need the captain.
The captain,
and that's expensive as well.
Yes, that's expensive.
Apparently, they get paid more than the pilots.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's huge.
I'm not surprised.
It's huge. Well, obviously, depends on what airline, but they normally get paid a lot of money. And every day they stay on the sea. Because it's not I mean, what's the longest voyage on a plane? 14, 15, 16 hours?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But on a boat, you can go.
You can be weeks. Out there for weeks, months, maybe.
So you calculate every day that they are on the sea, and they get paid per day on the sea plus their salary.
Interesting.
So you cannot compare how much they get paid to a pilot, because obviously pilots are monthly paid or weekly. I don't know how.
I don't know
the extent to which they get paid, whether it's monthly or. But these guys, whenever every day they stay on the sea, it's an extra. It's like a per diem kind of thing.
Ka-ching. My brother-in-law is a pilot, so maybe I'll ask him.
You should.
I'll ask him.
You should. You should.
Shouts to Farouk.
Shouts to you, Farouk, wherever you are.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where you need to the amount that you need to pay for these guys to stay on to be on standby alone is not cheap. Because recently, obviously the Premier League has started. For those Premier League lovers out there, the league has started. The league has started. However, John Henry, who is obviously the Liverpool owner, has come through.
Okay.
And he does that every time. It's like traditional. It's like a ritual now, where the man comes in for every first game of the season. He's coming, and we see him in the stadium. We've got a new coach and all of that, and I'm looking at him and it's like, yeah, man, this here. Cool. A day later, I read online on metro.co.uk that the man actually came in and now has boarded his yacht at Aberdeen or something, like somewhere in Scotland. So that's where the yacht actually docked, waiting for him to go on and chill. Thinking he's a billionaire.
Yeah,
he's got a yacht. Man, this affinity, probably we are not billionaires, so we'll be thinking, we're not really gonna talk about it, but there is definitely some connection there, of these guys having to buy themselves custom made yachts.
I think there's definitely, like I said, when you get to that when there's that coming of age, or when your bank balance hits the 9 zeros, it's like, okay, next thing
that's
on the
dream.
bucket
That's
list,
the dream.
buy a yacht.
That's the dream.
Now, in terms of like these yachts and then like the whole situation with Mike Lynch, there's been a similar story a while back where a billionaire and a yacht, and then bad things happening or similar stories. I'll talk a bit more about Mike Lynch, and then I'll jump in and jump out. We can
fair play.
Jump
mate. Fair play.
So Mike Lynch and his family. Apparently, there was a storm somewhere off the coast of Italy somewhere, and then, according to some of the information that I got access to, and again, I'm not saying this information is 100% accurate.
Yep.
We like to check our sources and things like that, but this is just to bring up the discussion. So if you're listening to this, make sure you fact check this, do the research. Feel free to put in the comments. We're happy to be fact checked. So apparently a storm happened.
Yep.
And then the yacht, which I don't remember the size of it. I think they measure the size in the length. So I think this was, off the top of my head, I may be wrong, 33 feet. I don't know how many meters that is, but that's quite a big, that's huge. That's huge. So 2 minutes, it was gone.
2 minutes
sank in 2 minutes.
That's another thing. Because I heard this particular yacht is not just the usual ones. This is one of those sailing ones.
Okay,
that's got a long mast.
Oh, interesting.
So especially made by a particular company. It's not the usual lavish white looking yachts. This is like a proper sailing boat kind of yacht.
Interesting.
And it's got a huge mast. It's one of those ones that are made by that company from some specific kind of customers.
That's interesting.
And it's meant to be unsinkable, just like the Titanic. We started speaking about Titanic earlier.
Yeah, we spoke about it.
It's meant to be one of those that are unsinkable.
Interesting.
So it's huge. It's huge for it to disappear within 2 minutes.
That's the thing. For something that size to disappear in 2 minutes because of a storm. And what they're saying is that the storm induced, and I'm not a meteorologist or anything, but there was some kind of, a tornado.
Oh, yeah.
The aquatic equivalent of a tornado, where there's like that, in the water, there's a kind of like,
it goes on there.
It's spinning. I don't know what the technical term is, but, the spinning, and then there's some kind of vortex, and then it sucks
you in, and then you go down.
Things off of the surface of the water into it.
Yeah.
So apparently that's what happened, is what they're saying. And it sank in 2 minutes. Cool. But this happened because they were on the boats in the first place to celebrate the victory after being acquitted, or after winning the court case
against HP.
And then this happens. And naturally, something like that is a very interesting, very weird. I won't say interesting, very weird occurrence.
Yeah.
Now, there's a co-defendant in the case. So someone that was a co-defendant alongside Mike Lynch. Who, it so happened, a few days before the boat sinking, died in a car accident. How coincidental.
We're getting in our realm here. We're getting in the realm
deep into it.
How coincidental is that?
Very coincidental. I don't know any of the facts.
So you're telling me, let me get this right.
Yeah.
Let me get this right. You're telling me a couple of days before Mike Lynch went down.
Yeah.
A co-defendant in the same case died in a car accident.
100%, yeah.
Man, what are the chances? Because let's be factual here. Let's be factual. Let's go factual. Let's leave conspiracy. We are in this podcast, right? You and I, Cyril, Reggie, we are talking about numerals of topics. There are some things we might talk about that might hurt somebody. Let's assume, in our previous episode, or three episodes, whatever it is, we said something that hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And the person decides, look, I'm gonna get rid of this people some way, somehow. And then one day I go, the next day you go. That's factual.
Yeah.
Somebody intended for it to happen. What are the chances that we've not hurt anybody we are literally talking about life experiences and whatnot, and then one day I go, the next day you go. How coincidental is that?
Yeah,
that must be 1 in a trillion.
It's
what are the chances? I didn't even know that there was a co-defendant in this case.
And this is secondhand information. You guys can fact check, but I'll try my best to put. We'll try to put something on the screen.
Yeah.
To show you guys some headlines and stuff. But apparently that happened, and it's all being looked at as a coincidence. Whoa. In the mainstream media. Obviously, traditional media platforms or people like ourselves doing podcasts and social media, etc. People are beginning to be like,
definitely. I mean, when you mentioned there was a second defender, I was like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, so
literally, I mean. Man, it needs to get investigated.
It has to get investigated.
Interpol, do your job.
Yeah, I think if the powers that be,
get into this,
definitely involved in this, I think it has to be looked into. Especially for someone that's a public figure, and especially after high-profile court case, I think some additional.
Personally, I think that. People, I don't know, but I'll throw this to the listeners. Do listeners, or do all of us, or do humanity, or do public feel that if something happens to a billionaire, it's like, oh yeah, he was a billionaire anyway? I mean, the man is still a man. He was a billionaire. He was living a lavish lifestyle, enjoying himself on a yacht, whatnot. But he's human, though. If this happened to any other person whom was not a billionaire, would we have a different perspective on things?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody goes for a holiday somewhere and disappears and dies based on a premeditated murder regime kind of thing happening there, how would we feel towards that? We'll think, man, this guy was powerless.
Yeah.
Why did you take him away? Yeah. He would probably do a lot of demonstrations.
There'll be campaigns.
There'll be boards everywhere.
We need to investigate
this.
Do their job.
I don't feel like it's happening for Mike Lynch. Is it because he's a billionaire? Is it because they feel like, man, the guy was living a lavish lifestyle. He had enough to go on. Why do we have to bother? He's gone.
I think
it's wrong.
Cases like this and a few, I might mention a few of them, but with things like this, because he's a high profile person, a public figure, and because he was involved in a big court case, of course there's gonna be media is gonna talk about it and everything.
Yeah.
But then like you said, in terms of like people getting upset and demonstrating and stuff like that, asking people to investigate, like an example when there's been a few cases where people went on holiday in Europe and then they got lost, and then there's all everybody this mobilization and
there was a GoFundMe and all. I don't want to mention any names.
Exactly.
As GoFundMe, people were pushing in money, just to help
the families.
But this is because the guy was not a billionaire.
Yeah,
the guy had
his family doesn't need the money, obviously.
Yeah,
but at least maybe I get what you mean. Like by the same sort of like concern and stuff, I think people are concerned. The way we're talking about it, people are concerned, and people are asking the questions. Maybe not from a sympathetic perspective
point of view,
but out of like
people just want to know what happened. People just want to know what happened,
because it's
are we concerned as much as someone who was not well known or lavished in that way, what I mean? So definitely something that we as the public, or we as the people need to push about. Yeah,
I'll mention some other things, similar things that have happened, and then we'll leave the guys to reflect on this.
Yeah,
we'll jump into the next topic.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a rabbit hole.
Let's dig in.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Let's dig in, man. Let's dig in.
To those of you that don't know,
you have to go Big Jeff, yeah?
I don't want to call him Big Jeff, but Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
So this guy, those of you that don't know, I'm not going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein on this, episode. We might talk about it in a different one in detail, but just to give you guys, because he's a billionaire.
He was a billionaire.
Who I'm driving at is his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell. His partner who's also been accused of
the same
or similar crimes. If you don't know, they've been accused of sexual crimes against young people, and younger people, minors.
Yeah.
And other related sexual crimes. And Jeffrey Epstein is no longer, among us. He supposedly unalived himself, exited this existence allegedly. Did it by himself allegedly. Ghislaine Maxwell, her dad was a billionaire as well. He also allegedly
died
on
a yacht.
Yeah, on a yacht. His death
there is definitely some affinity between billionaires and these yachts, man. I mean, what more can we say?
Do you know what? We spoke about something earlier, and then I can't remember if it was over the phone. Yesterday.
Yeah,
where we said, what are the chances? Is it because when you're on a yacht, you're out in the open sea? And you mentioned something about the fact that the yacht, you're isolated. You're not in a building. You're not in a hotel. You're not in a mansion.
You're it's like you're against the world. Yeah.
And when you're on the boat, obviously the boat has certain technological capabilities that allow them to communicate with other ships in the area, and potentially, I think I'm not technical in that regard, but there's definitely some
the vast
kind
world is
something literally that they're connected to, where people can they're able to communicate with people on land and on the water.
Yeah.
But what happens? Anything could happen if any of these communication devices or capabilities gets tampered with.
100%.
If they're on the water.
100%.
And so, how do we know if any of this information that's being put out on the media is actually accurate, or if it actually happened?
Well, the media will only know what is being fed to them. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So in as much as we probably don't have any idea how our phones are actually working inside the phone. We use the phone.
Yeah.
We're using the software of the phone. We don't know the hardware.
We trust it to work.
You wake up in the morning, you touch. If it's an iPhone, you touch the screen, you expect it to come up. You expect to scroll up, put your password or Face ID, use it, go on to WhatsApp, send a loved one a message. That's what you expect the phone to do for you. But you do not know what's going on within the phone to make it work. I think this is the same way. The majority of us have no idea the dynamics, the technologies, the hardwares that hardwire a yacht. So if a yacht goes down and we say there was a weather, there was what's it called, storm.
The storm.
We tend to believe that.
The general public is gonna believe it.
Because we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
If it's not just the only billionaire that has died on a yacht. Man, that baffles me a bit. Because I follow these guys on YouTube. I don't recall their name. But it's a couple, and they sail across the world in a boat. It's not a yacht, it's a boat. It's not as big and comfortable and solid as a yacht. It's a boat.
Yeah.
But they are still alive. And they've met some few storms. Trust me. If I find their channel, we're gonna put the information up.
Yeah.
But they survived though. It's just a normal boat.
So it's quite interesting that almost unlimited resources.
Top of our head, we've just remembered 2 billionaires that have died on yachts.
Yeah.
How awkward is that?
Yeah, very strange.
So conspiracies, yes, we love it, but we like to sort of put it out there for people to sort of,
you guys, make your own deductions
and reductions, additions, and then figure it out.
Yeah, figure it
eventually.
out. Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah. So definitely one of those. We this will also lead us to another billionaire.
Yeah.
So the Telegram CEO has just been recently incarcerated in France.
Yes. Very, very interesting.
This is something we need to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this.
To talk about because
so you guys,
is one of. I don't see why. I'll just put it out there. Let's just think why, viewers. Let's think why.
Mm-hmm.
Why
would a guy like this? What sort of crime has he committed? Is it because he, killed somebody, or because he committed fraud, or he embezzled money? Whatever. What is it?
Why?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
All right, so definitely it's something that we need to talk about. Why? My question is, why was he arrested? He is a CEO of a company that has created a messaging platform where people are free from people are actually free from being spied upon.
Yeah,
it's an entirely private platform that people feel free to send anything and everything that they could send on there. Now the question is, he's been arrested. What are the charges?
I don't know all of them off head, sorry, because normally when these sorts of things happen, it might be multiple things.
There's something going on.
But what I do know,
sorry, mind you, he's actually Russian born, isn't he?
He's Russian.
Good.
By birth.
By birth, okay.
By birth, I think.
But he's now French?
I think he holds...
He holds another nationality.
He holds a French
nationality.
Nationality, as well as either nationality in UAE or at least residency, because he's lived there. That has been his base for a while now.
Yeah.
This guy's name is Pavel Durov. He so he owns Telegram, as we mentioned. Telegram is a popular mobile app.
I'm sure all the viewers know what Telegram is.
Social media.
Even if you don't use it, you've downloaded it. Just to have it. Yeah.
And the unique thing with Telegram, do you want to shed a bit more light on why Telegram is preferred as opposed to WhatsApp?
It's literally the end-to-end. I know now WhatsApp has got that end-to-end encryption going on there as well. But however, Telegram has got that kind of privacy around it, where you know that whatever you are putting on there, you cannot be tracked or monitored.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not savvy user of Telegram. I've got it up, but I hardly use it. I'm thinking, but I read a little bit about it that made me download it. It's quite similar to Signal.
Exactly, yeah.
Where you know for sure that everything that you are putting on there has got no restrictions in terms of someone spying on you. And all of that that's something like that, I think it is. But as I've not actually used it, I know there are so many groups on there that are doing their own things.
Like channels and stuff.
Channels, that's what it's called. That are doing their own things, and nobody's regulating them because it's an open source kind of thing, isn't it?
There's that freedom of speech allowed on there. And so basically, this guy, Pavel Durov, his background is he's a very technical guy. He built and maintained this platform himself, and then his brother, who is also a very, very intelligent guy. I think he has 2 PhDs in some mathematical field. So he has been the
huge
encryption genius behind Telegram. But before they started Telegram, they actually had a social media platform
in Russia.
Which is called VK. It still exists. So if you guys have probably seen VK.
Do they still own it?
No, I don't. I knew
they made something VK. They made the Russian platform first before they gone on to Telegram.
Exactly, yeah. So VK was founded first before Telegram, and actually, I think VK predates Facebook.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, I think it predates Facebook.
Oh, I see.
So a lot of the functionality that we associate Facebook with, they already had VK, and the story is that this guy, Pavel Durov, there was a period in time where there was some protests and things happening in Russia, where people were mobilizing to speak against the government and things like that. And then he was approached, the story goes, by the Russian government, and because people were beginning to organize themselves in groups on VK, this social media platform.
Yeah, and that's a no-go for the Kremlin.
For the Kremlin.
No go.
So they're like, apparently they approached him, and then they said, can you provide information, provide access to the information on all these people that have created groups on your platform, and then they're inciting unrest, and then they're speaking against the regime.
Of course he rejected.
And then he said no. Imagine
big man thing.
Yeah.
I tell you, man.
It's crazy.
Man, to reject the Kremlin is a big man thing.
Yeah. And when I heard about this, I was like, well, you know what? I'll keep it moving. I don't want to say anything, but when I heard about it, I was very surprised that he was able to actually stand up to the regime like that. But anyway, he, so story goes, he rejected him and his brother. They were the ones running the company. And over a period of time, he says he knew that he was being watched and he was being followed and he was being tracked. So I
think he left not long after that, didn't he? Left
after
Russia.
a while he left the country, but he was given an ultimatum. They said, you either relinquish control of your company or you submit to our demands. That is providing them more or less access to the platform so that they can
personal
find
information of people.
Yes, who are the people creating groups and organizing these protests and whatnot. And he decided to, relinquish control of his company ultimately. But he was pressured increasingly, and then one of the ideas that came out of that was, how do I create a platform or some kind of communications app where I can communicate with my brother, Pavel, talking about how you can communicate with his brother.
Yeah.
And, discuss their plans and, things about running the company where they wouldn't be able to be spied on by the government.
Yeah.
So this was one of those, something that they discussed, and then that's where the idea for Telegram came out
from. Yeah.
And
Telegram. That's got a lot of people on there.
Apparently,
it's got lots of. I mean, I've been a fond member of Reddit.
Oh, I'm a big Reddit guy too.
Yeah, and
Reddit.
Most of them prefer to use Telegram to any other platform.
Interesting.
And that's how come I downloaded Telegram. I was thinking, why though? Because these are people because obviously you go on Reddit, there's so many channels. They've got dark web.
Yeah.
They've got
so many different subreddits.
They've got all of those subreddits on there. And
rabbit holes.
Rabbit holes, man. And they say, oh yeah, Telegram only. I'm thinking, why Telegram? And that's how come I downloaded Telegram.
Yeah.
And then I found out that because obviously if you go on Telegram, you would find nothing aside from those on your contacts.
Yeah.
You'd have to search.
Yeah.
So those of you who have Telegram and think is nothing exciting here, search.
Yeah, look up different channels.
There's a lot of channels there that probably could help you. There are free books there.
Yeah, information.
Information
things
that
of that
you'd
nature,
like to know. And when I heard that he was arrested, I was thinking, Is that why? Is that the reason? The fact that the man is controlling an entity where they cannot tap into.
Yes.
Is that the reason then?
Yeah, so I think...
Because if he's naturalized as a French citizen and he's come back home, why do you arrest him?
Yeah, so
it's
apparently
huge.
He was getting... no, I don't want to say pressured, but the government in France also have certain requirements for of social media platforms in terms of censorship and then disclosure of certain activities that happen on the platform. And the whole purpose of Telegram is so that you can have
that
sort
privacy.
of private environment.
It's paramount to them, I think, from what I know.
For free speech.
You should be able to say whatever you want on Telegram and not get tracked. That is one of the paramount reasons why it was made.
Yes.
Because, like you said in the backstory, Pavel is now communicating with his brother, and they create something obviously similar to what Telegram has now grown up onto. And they were communicating there. To create such a platform in Russia and not have them track you is huge.
Yeah.
You get me? That tells me that the encryption on that is huge.
Yes.
It's massive and it's well done.
Yeah.
So why then would he now turn it around and tell you, man, you can have access to it?
Yeah.
If for a man who turned down the Russian government, how would he then say to the EU, man, just go for it? I don't think it's possible. It's quite similar to what Elon is doing with Twitter.
It's quite similar,
X,
yeah. It's
man,
so difficult to say
remember.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
As you're saying, so I guess that's one of the reasons that he's been arrested, if not the main reason, is because apparently because of I'm not surprised. If you have a platform such as Telegram where people can communicate privately, people can create groups around various topics that may not be so popular or accepted on conventional social media, then you're going to have bad apples, or you're going to have,
But then the question then is, we'll probably critique it a bit. If Pavel is doing this, then that means he's creating platform for criminals as well, then, isn't it? And that's probably the entire reason why this is going on. Because if I can go on there and sell any criminal thingy on there and not get tracked for it, is that not bad as well? Then is that not what our society is not meant to be grown? Or
I think there is some kind of moderation there. There definitely is moderation where they don't allow certain things, certain types of people that have certain, affinities are not allowed there. So they do moderate the content there, but there is that privacy where external bodies cannot come and then demand access to it or demand information and say so. All of that information is monitored and controlled in-house, and they, if people need to be banned from the platform, that action is undertaken because certain things, vile actions or topics are not allowed.
So basically, it's private, but it's not that private. So basically, the Telegram owners or Telegram administrators can then regulate some of the information that's going on there.
Of course,
but government sources or external sources aside from Telegram has no access to it.
I think that's one of the most important things is for them to have that independence or a certain level of independence of the government or political forces, so that they can allow people to express themselves, but at the same time
not limited.
Exactly. So definitely people are going to find ways to beat the system or to beat the moderation and then conduct criminal communications and so that is the reason he's been arrested. But there is the sentiment that there may be a bigger agenda as to why he's been arrested, But I guess we'll leave that to the viewers and the listeners to
jump in on that.
I mean,
basically, I'm gonna keep a keen eye on this, guys. I'm gonna keep a keen eye on this because I'm quite interested. I'm quite interested as to how the developments of this will
give
pan
you
out.
guys updates.
Yeah, definitely. It's true.
Speaking of like Telegram, we kind of like delved in on this topic for the past 30-35 minutes.
Yeah.
Privacy on social media. Most of us use social media, but I think we were almost recklessly confident in the fact that our data is safe.
Is it though? Is it though?
Yeah, that's something I want us to discuss. Yeah. What do you think?
Man, I think everything... I'll go to an old Ashanti adage, which says...
Let's hear it.
Ashanti is just a region in Ghana, by the way. So I'll go to an old Ashanti adage which says that anything that is said to another person is no longer a secret. If it stays with you, it is a secret because you probably take it to your grave and it's between you and God, whatever God you serve, right? But the moment I say to you, Cyril, that Cyril, you know what? I've got another car somewhere, but nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
It's no longer a secret, is it?
Yeah.
Because you've got it, and I say to you, man, it's a secret. Keep it to yourself. But you probably think, man, that's good news, man. That's good news. Why would I keep it to myself? You go, and there's a privilege of a husband-wife privilege, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you go, man, you know, I just got another car somewhere, man. He's packed it in the garage somewhere. Good news to you, but it was meant to be a secret for me. So the moment it's said to somebody, it's no longer a secret. I don't think anything is safe online, man. You never find me revealing something that I've not actually overthought about on social media.
Yeah.
If I reveal something on social media, it means
you're okay with it being out there.
I'm okay with everybody knowing about it. It's fine. You can know about this. Yeah. It's not something I want to hide, or it's not something that I feel is private. If it is private, it will never show online.
So, okay, is that also, and let's for the purpose of this conversation, let's make a distinction between
happy days, man.
Different social media platforms. So something like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and then you have things like WhatsApp that are for more closed communications. So shall we separate these two for the purpose of the conversation? So for something like Instagram or Facebook, so you're telling me that when you put something on Facebook or Instagram, you post a picture, in your mind you're like, if this goes viral tomorrow, I have no problem.
I have no issues with it.
Okay. I mean, I agree with it.
I mean I have never posted on Facebook for about 3-4 years, 3 years maybe.
Okay.
I think even on Instagram, I'm not as active as it is.
Yeah.
But if I post on Instagram, it means I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think my Instagram is now linked to my Facebook for some reason. So if I post on Instagram, it automatically syncs to Facebook.
So let me jump in here. So it means that the aunties and uncles can see they can see some of the stuff you
the aunties and uncles are still on Facebook, aren't they?
Yeah, because Facebook is like the main joint.
But you know what? When I'm posting on Instagram something that I feel like, I'm okay for this to go, and it says it, because of course Instagram is gonna ask, are you okay do you want to post this on Facebook?
Right. Yeah.
And I think about it, I'm thinking, And then it goes,
You posted a picture, a video of you and the missus getting lit in Portugal.
You know what I mean?
Maybe you don't want the aunties to see. I don't want the aunties to see that, man.
This guy,
I'll hold on to this one.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those. But I always I ensure, bro, that if I'm posting something online, I'm happy for that to go. I'm happy for people to see this. I'm happy for everybody to see this. Yeah, and I'm happy for it to trend if it's meant to, if it's gonna trend. if I'm chatting on WhatsApp, end-to-end encryption, that's a different thing. So I'm gonna, you and I normally have a lot of chats and voice notes going on WhatsApp and all of that. But because I know it's coming to you and it's staying on your phone.
Yeah,
it's not a secret. Still, believe it or not.
I was just about
believe it or not.
Because we've gone from Instagram and platforms where you're publicly posting and letting other
coming
people
down
see.
To end-to-end encryption.
You're posting one to many.
Exactly, and
so
one to
publishing. Let's use the word publishing.
Yeah.
Then to WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever. Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Where it's supposed to be a direct
to you. I tell you what, Cyril, and I'll tell you, viewers, right? If you send something to somebody on WhatsApp, what are the chances that this person cannot show it to another person?
Okay, there's that element.
That's that element. However, when you send somebody to somebody on WhatsApp and it stays on the person's phone, the person unintentionally can leak that message to somebody.
Yeah, of course.
So you need to be careful what you posting on. But I think I'm more relaxed on a one-to-one encryption rather than one-to-many. One-to-many, no. I'm very careful. Very careful. One-to-one, I'm more relaxed because I'm thinking, it's to you.
I agree.
Or it's to that. It's from mom to son to dad.
Yeah.
Uncle to nephew, whatever it is. Yeah. And it stays there up until it's gone out. What about you though? Because I'm keen to know. One to many. Let's start from one to many.
One to many. I share the exact same sentiment as you. Have the same opinion.
Yeah.
If I post something on social media, I'm happy with it being there. Because nowadays, when you go on for like things like job interviews or things like that, or even publicly, people actually take the liberty to look you up. One of the jobs, actually my very first job that I worked, and this was when I lived in Canada, I remember, I'm not going to mention the name of the place I worked, but my first job, I remember someone had applied to do the same job that I do, and then my line managers basically went on Facebook, looked up the person,
and thought, man, this is not the guy.
Not because they wanted to like get an understanding of the person's character or what they're like or anything, simply just to see what they look like.
Really?
Yeah. And this wasn't like a corporate job or anything. So it would, there was no LinkedIn or anything. It was not in the conversation. It was just Facebook. Let's check, see what they look like.
Your managers something else.
So they checked, and then there's like jokes about like the person's like fashion sense and choice of things that they posted.
Well, these guys are petty, bro.
Very petty. And needless to say, they found things, images and things, and then the person ended up not getting the job.
Yeah, and you got it.
No, I was already there.
You were already there.
I was already there when all of this was happening. But when I post on social media, I know there's a chance that somebody's going to do the same thing. Yes. So I'm happy with posting, and I'm very careful about what I post, especially if it's like personal stuff. However, when I send messages or I communicate directly where it's supposed to be one-to-one communication.
Yeah.
Even so, I'm very mindful these days.
These days? You said these days?
These days,
why?
Yes.
Before, how was it? And now, these days, how is it going now then?
I remember when I first downloaded WhatsApp, this must have been like 2013. I downloaded WhatsApp. That was the thing. Everyone's, WhatsApp. You can, you don't have to send text messages. You can use WhatsApp.
Money.
Credits.
It's free.
It's free. All you need to have is mobile data package.
Yeah.
So I got my WhatsApp on my little Nokia device.
Which of the Nokias, man? I love this phone.
I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like this was before. Well, at the time, Android was in existence, but because I couldn't afford an Android phone. So I bought that one because it was running, I think it's Nokia Symbian. No, that's some Samsung, but it was running some kind of software
that could run WhatsApp.
That could support WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I was using that at the time. Cool. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Blah blah blah.
Free messaging, man.
Yeah.
You can write as much as you want.
As much as you want, and you can send pictures and stuff to people. Nowadays, you don't even like. You ever have a conversation about something on WhatsApp? Like me and you might talk about ordering, an additional microphone, and then all of a sudden you're on your Facebook feed. Oh, actually, this is even better. You take someone's phone number. The person happens to have a WhatsApp account because your phone number is linked to WhatsApp. And then you go on Facebook and your friend suggestions, and then this person has been suggested as a friend on your Facebook.
Oh,
do you ever see that?
No, that's not happened to me before.
I can show you
because I hardly go on Facebook now.
Okay,
so maybe
but that happens these days. So you could take some random person's number that you don't know, you don't have a connection with, you didn't go to high school with them, you don't work with them, nothing. Let's say you go to the store, you meet someone, you have their phone number, and then you have never spoken to the person on WhatsApp, but they do have a WhatsApp account linked to that phone number. And then for some reason you go on Facebook and your friend suggestions, a person is there.
Whoa, that's serious, man.
It's serious.
But then again, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, all linked.
We know, but so that leads me to, obviously there has to be some legal grounds that allows this to happen. And obviously all these pieces of software, all these apps have terms and conditions and things that nobody ever reads, by the way. No one has the time to read.
Fine print.
It's a free app. I'm not reading 5 pages on how my data is used.
That's the fine print right there, brother.
Exactly. So I think that's where these things, and we don't know when these things were added, these policies, all of a sudden we're able to.
But that's the thing. When they update the terms and conditions of WhatsApp, you just
accept it,
because this is how you're communicating with your parents and your family back home and all of that. I mean, for those of us in the diaspora,
yes, WhatsApp is like.
But then again, I have had. When you speak about having somebody's phone number, you add on WhatsApp the link, and then you go on Facebook and you found the name. I have had. I mean, quite recently, I came to a cookout of yours, like
barbecue,
a barbecue of yours, and then I met this bloke here, and then we had a good conversation. Took his number. I went on Instagram though, and that's where I found him.
So you see,
it's the same. It worked for me on Instagram because I think I'm much more active on Instagram.
So it's the
and then I found him there, but I could easily see it's him because he's using his name. Because Instagram you can put any name there. I mean, you put your real name and then you put like at name kind of. But on Facebook it's your real name. Most people anyway. So I saw that it's him, and I thought maybe it's because I added his phone number to my phone. So that's why. But man, that's huge. That are we being tracked? I mean, everybody should know now that you go on recent. I'll give you a typical example.
Let me know.
So I've got this Bose system at home where it makes proper theater noise.
Proper.
And I'm thinking of discarding that and getting a new one. So I go just one day, and I'm very savvy with tech. So I go on Google. I've got a Google app, but I go incognito. And I'm thinking, I don't want people to know what I'm searching for now, because otherwise you're gonna bombard me with all these things. Stuff, So I go incognito. And I put in sound bars. I'm thinking something simple rather than all these theater systems and whatnot. Put sound bars. Best sound bars UK. I try to make it easy for me. I search, I do my research. I stay on there for about an hour. And I come off the incognito and I come off the normal Google, which has all my feed that I am interested in. Guess what? 2 days later, I'm seeing soundbar reviews on my normal Google. I'm supposed to have been private, going incognito.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
How do you then start to from nowhere? Soundbars. What's the point of going incognito then? Are we private ever online?
Yeah, at this
it's
point,
huge, man. This privacy point is huge.
I think it's safe to assume that anything that you communicate via any digital platform whatsoever, especially the mainstream platforms, I think it's safe to assume that it's there. So even if you're communicating with somebody on WhatsApp, I think it's safe to assume that your conversation is not private.
It's not.
So
it says end-to-end encryption, but it's probably not.
It's not 100%.
Man,
do you know about this whole Edward Snowden thing? We could dig into this in a different
Snowden
episode.
Is a topic on its own. Nice one. As always, like, subscribe, share, comment as well. Let us know your thoughts. Not only on YouTube but on social media, because on every platform, put out clips and things for you guys to see. So let us know your thoughts, and we'll catch up on the next episode. Don't miss the next episode. Don't miss the next one.